Well, do you remember Posey Parker? She was the woman that came to New Zealand, and the media said she was a terrible person. And look, the trans community went along and wouldn't let her speak. They just yelled and screamed at her. But worse still, somebody poured some tomato juice all over her. I think it was tomato juice. Vaughan, what was it? What's happening, brother?
Oh, kia ora, Max. Great to see you. Hey, March 25th, that day when everybody lost their marbles in Albert Park. And we all found out that there was such a thing called a white cis male. Anyway, we've moved on. And what's happened is the tomato squirter, gusher, splasher, whatever you want to call this person, Eli Rabashkin, the Colombian, accused of dousing women's rights evangelist Posey Parker with the tomato juice, has pleaded guilty to 2 charges of assault, not just one. So she faces a second charge. So the first is dousing the tomato juice onto Posey Parker, and then a second assault that happened on the same day. So it looks like Eli can get a little bit frisky on the old sort of anger management side. So, if found guilty, Eli, the maximum term, 6 months jail and a $4,000 fine. So that's quite a whack there. Look, Eli Rabashkin claims having to flee New Zealand after apparently receiving death threats, and didn't plan to return for some time. And then clearly there's been a summons from New Zealand police that we need to speak to you. So as goes with the territory with this mob, drama is never too far away. So this will shape up to be an intriguing court case. There'll be pickets and banners and all sorts of drama outside the courtroom and screaming and yelling. But what will be interesting, Max, will be the precedent that is about to be set. So if Eli Rabashkin walks free, it opens up the gate for all protests to be a free-for-all squirt fest. Bring your own bleach or acid. Or does common sense prevail and actions have consequences, and Eli Rabashkin will pay a penalty? So the courts will decide that. But mark my words, Max, this one is not going to go away. It will dominate the media in July. So, Max, I'll put a poll up today on LinkedIn with 2 options. If it was your call for the tomato juice squirter, guilty and pay a penalty, or not guilty and walk free. So let's see what happens with our learned, deep thinkers of LinkedIn. So let's see what they have to say. That's my lot, bro.
Well, Eli, there's a lot of evidence. We all saw it on television. I think we saw it everywhere. The whole country saw it. So there's a lot of witnesses to this. But look, at what that really comes back to is there's a lot of public opinion about it. And obviously the media got another view, which is, guilty. Posey was the worst person of all. But look, I think that Eli is really guilty in my personal view. And I'm going to say it out loud. I saw what happened, and look, I think a person should be allowed to speak, irrespective of what they say. They do not deserve to be squirted with any kind of liquid, which could have been acid at the time. So, I mean, I believe Posey was terrified it was acid, and I don't blame her. I think tomato juice would be defined in science to be acid anyway. Getting back to it, Vaughan, good one. I think this is going to be interesting, and certainly I'm for it. If you're guilty of assault, then you go for it. If it's not assault, well, something else, but she's guilty. Cheers for that.
And Max, a shameless plug. Below in the comments, there will be a link to the poll to vote. Guilty, not guilty. So let's give it a crack. Cheers, Max.
Shameless. All right, man. Cheers.